motivation is such an odd thing because yesterday I was miserable and I could barely walk and I didn't want to do shit. But today I'm super motivated to go to the gym. I'm super motivated to cook, to do my meal prep and do all the things that I need to do. And that only just kind of goes to show you that motivation is a very unfaithful mistress, and there are going to be days when she's going to show up, and then there are going to be days where she's going to ghost you. So you really shouldn't trust her. So the thing that helps me when it comes to managing these sorts of things, and the thing that helps me when it comes to being consistent, is just like focusing on the goal and keeping the goal in mind and not really thinking about how is it that I feel today, and not being overly excited when I am motivated and when I'm feeling good. And this has proven to be like a very good approach for me because I am much more stable than I used to be with these weight cuts. So yeah, it's just like when I am motivated, I do not get overly excited. I understand that this is a good day and I should enjoy it, but this is not going to last. And then when I'm super demotivated and when I feel like shit, I also need to keep in mind that these days are going to be there. They are going to suck, but it's not always going to be like this, and there are also going to be good days. So yeah, just don't listen to your emotions when it comes to these kind of goals. Especially do not listen to your emotions when it comes to like things that are internal, like diets are like very emotional and very personal to people, and you shouldn't really listen to your emotions when you're doing this. So if you decided that this is the goal that you have, and if you decided that this diet is something that you want to do, clearly define what is the end goal, and then no matter what, just keep on going towards the end goal and do not listen to yourself. And it's easier to say than it is to do, because I also used to struggle with this quite a lot, and I used to be very emotional when it comes to the way that I eat. And the thing that eventually led into was yo-yo dieting, which is basically like you starving yourself for a week and then gaining everything back by just binge eating afterwards. And I would go like back and forth from binge eating to like starving to binge eating, which was not a good approach at all, because you just would feel like shit constantly, because it's either you feel like shit because you're dieting and starving yourself, or you feel like shit because you ate way too much and now you're just miserable because you broke your diet. You feel bad about yourself and you feel bad that you haven't really followed up on your goal. So like, yeah, it's not a good approach to take, and I would advise that you kind of like just really try to focus on what is it that you need to do, make reasonable decisions, do not overdo it, but don't underdo it. So like, yeah, you should manage the calories and you should restrict them, but also you shouldn't really starve yourself constantly. So decrease the calories gradually, be smart about it. When you feel like you're completely crashing out for several days in a row, not only like 1 or 2 days, then maybe adjust the calories up a little bit. Then when you're feeling good again, adjust them down. So just be mindful about how is it that you handle everything. Do listen to your emotions in general, but don't let the emotions dictate what is it that you're going to do. Because also a very, very big thing with this is, if you feel bad on one singular day or maybe 2 days in a row, that is not an indication that you need to change anything. That just means you're maybe struggling a little bit and you're going through a rough patch. But then if you feel miserable constantly, if you're like miserable for a week straight and there are no good days at all, well then yeah, then you probably need to adjust something. But yeah, so far I am very happy with how this cut is going. I feel like so far this is the best cut that I have ever had. I feel like also part of it is just the fact that I am kind of forced to make these videos, so I'm kind of keeping myself accountable. So for an example, like if I would sneak in a cheat day that should not be there, you guys are going to see that the next day just because of the weight chicken. So yeah, it is easier this way when I'm making the videos, and also on top of it, it's just like I feel like I am managing myself much better than I expected that I will. Okay, so we are already at midday. I am pretty much almost done with the day at the office, and afterwards we are going into the gym and we are going to have a nice cheeky biceps and back day. So that is something I'm also quite excited for. So I'm going to go back to the office now, and then I'll talk to you guys once I'll be done with the gym. So see you guys then. Well, today actually ended up being a fairly nice and a fairly chill day because, well, first of all, the biggest thing that is always going to affect my mood the most is just how hungry I am. And I mean, obviously I was hungry. I'm hungry 24/7 nowadays, but I wasn't really as hungry as I was yesterday. So that was nice. I wasn't really constantly like thinking about food, and it wasn't the only thing that I was capable of thinking of. So that kind of helps when you can focus on different things as well. And on top of it, I had a very nice gym session. So I started doing some correcting movements that I want to do to even out some of the muscles that are a little bit uneven, and that went really well. And overall, just the workout felt really nice. It felt like very solid. So that helps a lot as well. Because yeah, always like my mood is going to be quite dependent on how is it that I'm going to perform at the gym, because realistically, like my favorite part of the day, not fart, why did I say fart? My favorite part of the day realistically is me going to the gym. So like whenever I'm at the gym and whenever I'm doing well, that is also going to lift up my mood significantly. So yeah, overall a very solid day. I wasn't even that annoyed with anything today, which is new, because nowadays when I'm very, very hungry constantly, I also get really annoyed at people and at like random things, and like I kind of hear my inner voice becoming like more and more aggressive as time goes by. And actually a very interesting thing that I need to do starting from next week. Well, actually, no, not even necessarily starting from next week. So basically the plan is I am not going to adjust the calories as long as I keep on losing weight. But as soon as the scale is going to stop, even for one day, I am going to go into the final stretch of the adjustment of calories. So I am going to take off some calories once again. I'm going to remove some calories from the daily meals that I eat, and then that's basically going to be like the lowest that I'm going to go. So I'm one step away from like the lowest amount of calories that I will consume during this cut, and that is basically the amount of calories that I will have to ride out for like the remaining cut, which is going to be enough. I feel like with this deficit of calories I am going to be able to lose the weight that I need. It's just now I'm kind of at the tricky part where I feel like I'm kind of stagnating a little bit, and I have been improving, but it's also like I don't lose weight fast enough, because for example, like I would have a cheat meal during the weekend and then I would spend the rest of the week basically losing this weight. So effectively for like the last 2 weeks I've been kind of around the same weight and I haven't really made any progress. And it is also going to be harder to make progress as you're going to get leaner and leaner, because it just generally becomes more difficult losing weight because you don't have as much fat to spare. But yeah, basically I kind of need to become a little bit more aggressive with the diet, and that is also going to be as aggressive as I am going to get. But a few more days, hopefully, I do have of eating the same amount of food that I'm eating currently, because I feel like I am probably going to be losing weight for like at least the next couple of days. But yeah, as soon as that is over, we are going to enter the rough part of this diet, which is actually going to be me starving, because I'm going to be around like 1700 calories. So that is not going to be a very fun experience. That is actually going to be very miserable, because I'm also not that small of a guy. Like you guys can't really see it on camera, but I'm actually 6 feet tall, and like I'm not the smallest dude around. So like this kind of a caloric deficit actually fucks with me very heavily. So this is not like a fun little thing to do. This is actually like a very serious caloric deficit for me. But yeah, let's see. Hopefully I still have a few days of eating the same amount of food that I eat currently, and then let's just see how it goes. Okay, well, you guys already do know the drill. The day is pretty much over. I still need to do some cardio today, so that is something that I'm going to do. Then I'm going to make a few more videos for the other platforms where I post the videos that I post in, and then I'll already be going to bed. And tomorrow is Friday, so this weekend I'm not going to have a cheat meal, so nothing really to look forward to in that kind of a sense, but at least it is going to be the weekend, so I'll get to rest a little bit more. I'll get to do the stuff that I want to do. I don't need to go to the office, so that's also going to be a nice thing. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow.